Welcome to the PaynePoints Podcast. We tell the stories of small businesses, the people that run them, and the journey they are on. Our purpose is to gather a new perspective on starting, growing, maturing, and maintaining businesses of all sizes. So grab that cup of coffee, sit back, and join us as we start the conversation. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. It is Sarah Harbuck along with Kristin Ellis.
Good morning.
And we are here talking with Chelsi Moree.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hi.
You have a little boutique called Moree To Love. A little play on words with your last name there.
I do.
So tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the business aspect of everything. We want to know a little bit more about you. So tell us about your family and where you grew up and where you live now and all the fun things that, people want to know about people.
So I am 32, and I was adopted when I was 7 years old by biologically my aunt and uncle. So it was in the family. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I've lived here since I was 7, grown up here. I moved to Dallas for a little bit. I worked for a physician staffing firm up there. Realized I did not like corporate America, so I left.
It's a common tale.
Yes, it is. I came home and I knew fashion was something. I've done some modeling, so I've been in some modeling contests. I've modeled for brands, and so I really wanted to do fashion. And so I came home and I kind of just ran with it. And the pandemic hit, and so in June I opened solely online, my online boutique, and then here I am. I opened a storefront back in January. So
very cool.
Wow.
So you got to start your business.
Yes.
Because of the pandemic. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very
cool.
Cool.
That's one of the kind of the reasons why we wanted to have you on, because we haven't really had anybody. Most people have already kind of been established.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so to have somebody who was kind of navigating that during the pandemic. So we'll get into that a little bit later on, because I definitely want to hear more about that. But you grew up here. You live with your aunt and uncle. Mm-hmm. Any children of your own, significant other, or is that still?
I do have a boyfriend. He met my family for the first time yesterday for Easter.
Fun.
I think I traumatized him a little bit.
Hey, it's not a good first meeting unless they're a little bit like, when it's all over.
So that's always a nice trial by fire. So
a
boyfriend or girlfriend to meet the family for the first time.
Yeah.
And Easter, is that a big holiday your family celebrates?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So like the dyeing of the eggs and the kids are hunting them and the cracking on the head with the confetti.
We don't really have any little kids anymore, so we don't do that.
Okay.
We're all grown. I have a brother who's
so no
20.
baskets full of beer and IPAs.
Yeah, it's just that much. It's that much more fun. We still do an adult Easter egg hunt.
Yes.
But we had like cans of silly string, and it's like confetti eggs, and then there's only like a dozen eggs, but they all have like money in them. So and the rule is if you find a confetti egg or a can of silly string, you have to get rid, like you have to smash it over somebody's head or use up all the silly string before you can
brilliant.
go on and continue hunting the like actual prizes.
I love that.
Y'all should totally do it. It's so much fun.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna suggest that.
My cousin's family, they do where they hide beers or little bottles of wine.
Yeah.
For the adults.
Oh,
so,
I like that.
Yeah.
It's an adult
cute.
version. So you live in Huntington, Texas, which is a little smaller community south of Lufkin or southeast, I guess, as the map goes. And that is where your business is based.
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
So you said you were from Huntington, have spent most of your life there, and so it was very important for you to open your business in that community.
Yeah.
And have you noticed like a pretty good community support?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. Like I've been blown away. Whenever, like I would say 95% of my sales were online when I first started. I'd have friends come by my house and like want to try stuff on. And so I was a little nervous, I'm not going to lie, whenever I got my storefront, because I was like, I have such a huge online presence, or people, but I've been blown away. The community has been phenomenal. I have so many people that support me, and it's been so good.
That's good.
Good.
That's awesome.
That's always nice when the community comes out and supports you. Did you go to school for like business or marketing or?
No. So I originally I went to Blinn, and so I was going to transfer to A&M, and I was going to go for sports marketing. That's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I I got sick, found out I had lupus, and I moved home. It was pretty bad. So I moved home, and I was like, I hate college. I don't want to go back. So I just kind of, made my way through life, and then I worked myself way up into the chain, like I said, at Dallas, whenever I worked at the physician staffing firm, and I realized this is just not what I want to do. I wanted to be my own boss, and so fashion was like really one of my big passions, and so this is where I am.
Was that something that you had kind of pulled from your childhood? What did you want to be when you grew up? Was it a model or something?
No, girl, I wanted to be a marine biologist, and let me tell you, that lasted 2 minutes once I found out there were sharks.
And the amount of schooling you have to go to.
Oh, yeah,
like that.
for
sure.
sure.
It's like going to veterinarian school. I understand. So, that would have been, you'd probably still be in school.
Oh, for sure.
or having just finished, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, and out of a job because I wouldn't get in the ocean.
So that's like a 180. You grew up wanting to be a marine biologist, and now you're in fashion.
I know.
2 completely different worlds.
Yeah. But that is pretty cool that you have a marketing background, a little bit of that. So did that come in handy? Was that something that maybe you were able to use?
No, it really was, because TikTok has been huge as well too, because TikTok was so big at the beginning of the pandemic. And when I joined, I was like, I'm just gonna get on here and watch funny videos, and then next thing you know, I'm like, I could promote my business on here. And so it's gone really well, and I think I've always been big into social media, so that's helped too. I grew up on social media.
Kind of came easier for you as to use it as a marketing tool. That's cool.
And TikTok is a great place. I'm seeing a lot of businesses utilize it in a fun. It makes businesses look like they have a personality. Yeah. So many static images on Facebook or Instagram or Google or wherever tend to be very professional and very and there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes, especially with the way things have been this last year, connecting with people on that level with, some fun, cute video that's 30 or 60 seconds long, it's just something fun that makes it seem like your business has personality.
Right.
Well, and along with the pandemic, people are looking for that connection, so to be able to see that, and it kind of goes along with why we do this podcast. You get to tell your story a little bit.
Absolutely.
People get to know you, and it attracts more clients.
People tend
really
to be
cool.
more... They tend to, especially if they're going to patronize a small business, they want to know a little bit about you.
Yeah.
And so that's a great way to get that out there. You said you had done some modeling.
Yes.
And so I'm guessing modeling and fashion, they tend to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
What sort of sparked the modeling?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't have a clue.
Hey, model some stuff for us.
I have no idea. I remember being in high school, and even in middle school, I've always been a bigger girl. I was 5'10" by the time I was in 5th grade. I had hips the size of, the Mississippi River. Like, they were so big. And I remember growing up, there was no one who represented me as a woman. And so not really until, Ashley Graham and Ta'Brien Majors and Hunter McGrady, like all these beautiful curvy women stepped on the scene. And then I was like, well, maybe I could do this. And so honestly, I was in Dallas with my best friends, and there was this competition, and I've done some modeling like here in Lufkin for friends who did photography and things like that, but nothing really. And so I went and I auditioned, and then I made top 8, and they flew me to New York, and all like off of my very first, it was just crazy. And I was like, this is what I was meant to do. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And so I wanted to allow other curvy women to feel the exact same way. And so that's why I started my brand.
So your brand is a plus sized or a, curvy lady boutique.
What's the word that people are using these days? Because I know plus size is kind of on the way out a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry, we're old and out of touch.
No. Absolutely.
Keep us young.
No. Curvy is fine. Curvy is totally fine. And that's how I started out. I started out solely curvy because that's what I was.
Yeah.
And then I have so many friends who are not curvy, and they wanted to buy from me. And so now I am all inclusive, and I do smaller sizes as well. So,
okay. Yeah. Cool.
I really enjoy. I know that Dove did a campaign a while back, and I think they still utilize that, where it's models of all color and shape and size and hair type, and I find that that's more appealing because the high fashion that you see in New York or Paris or Milan or whatever, has these women that tend to be poor things that look like they just drink water and eat celery all day long, and
they need a sandwich.
They need a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And I realized that the entire just our society as a whole has put that on them.
Yeah.
This is what's supposed to be pretty.
Yeah.
And but
it's so
when you don't
though.
fit that and you're you have some shape or you've had 3 kids or genetics are against you
or you have no kids and you still have a mom bod.
I mean, hey.
So it's nice that the fashion industry is now catching up to the fact that not everybody is shaped like a stick.
Yeah.
Or boxy, some of us have hips or boobs or
yeah, right. I personally think it's fantastic that you started off as a curvy boutique, and then in order to be more inclusive, you had to start selling smaller sizes.
Yeah,
I think that's fabulous.
Yeah,
I know. Rather than the other way around. Yeah, a lot of places do. They cater to small, medium, large.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, and people are, oh, you're so skinny. I don't fit in a small anywhere.
Yeah.
Like the way that they do sizing now.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's nice that there are people who recognize not everybody's going to fit this cookie cutter mold and that we need more, and watching, my youngest daughter and I used to watch Project Runway all the time.
Yes.
And in the more recent seasons, they've gotten a lot better at having models that didn't have a certain body type, shall we say. And it was always nice to watch these designers, and you could always tell the ones who could really cater to just any woman. That if they got a plus size model, it didn't seem to rock their world. They're like, yeah, cool, let's do this, you know?
Yeah.
So I like that, and I didn't mean to turn this into a whole like Project One Day thing, but yeah. Anyway, having a hard time going to the store and finding anything that fits properly is a challenge, I think, for most women.
Yeah.
There's a very small sect that's not an issue for, and the rest of us are like,
nothing fits.
Yeah.
Or nothing fits right anyway.
Yeah. I get frustrated. Shopping for clothes, so I can only imagine what it's like for people who are even, more voluptuous than I am, and how that challenges them. So I like that. That's great. We ask people, because we all have these little things that we do to set ourselves up for, a good day or positivity, or, when you live in a negative place in your mind, you tend to just stay in a negative frame of mind. So whenever we have somebody sitting in that chair, I always want to find out what habits they, engage in, or what things do they do on a daily basis that kind of just go, I'm going to go set the world on fire and just do my bit. And
I love this question. I answer this almost daily. I'm not going to lie.
Good.
So prayer is a real big thing with me. My faith is really super big, and self-affirmations. And I know it sounds so crazy, but looking in the mirror and telling yourself, my 3 things are: I'm brave, I'm bold, I'm beautiful. Not because it's, so when I cover the physical, like I am beautiful, but I am also bold and I am brave, and that's who I am. And it doesn't matter what someone else thinks about me or how someone perceives me, how I perceive myself, how Jesus perceives me. That's all that matters to me. And I have to set that tone in my mind daily, because like you said, you go out into the world and, you could think that you're so cute, and you walk by and a girl looks at you, and then you're like, oh gosh, what's wrong with me,
Yeah.
And so I constantly have to feed into my inner psyche and just remind myself who I am.
Well, for a lot of people, it takes courage, takes bravery to be able to look at yourself in the mirror.
No, absolutely, 100%.
And say, and even just say it, know. And I know the first time anybody tries it, if you're thinking about trying it, try it. You're going to feel silly the first time, but keep up with it. And you'll it works.
Well,
it works. It helps.
It does.
They have those scientific studies that say that if you talk positively to your plants, they grow better.
Yeah, they do.
And yet
that's a good point.
We talk to ourselves so negatively. I fall into that trap really bad sometimes. Like, oh, I suck. And not in like the funny self-deprecating way, like that, you get mired down into these really negative places. And so I wondered, especially when you being in, plus size, curvy size fashion, how that, affects you and your own personal mindset in what you were just saying. You know, somebody will walk by and give you a weird look, and you're like, oh, I thought I was looking good today.
No, sometimes like if I go out with my boyfriend, because he's real skinny and he's super attractive, and so women look at him all the time. And so sometimes when I'm getting dressed, I'm like, okay, you are bold, you are brave, you are beautiful, he's lucky to have you, all these things. And because the world is cold. The world is so harsh.
Yes.
It is. You gotta get your little wins, get your little boosts where you
just
can.
enough armor so that kind of stuff kind of bounces right off, but not so
go.
much that you don't let in the good. So, do you have anybody that's inspiring to you, or that's like
you
a mentor?
Ashley Graham and some of the is that do you have any mentors or any of that kind of thing?
I do. So growing up, my mom, I think this is one of the reasons why I've been so confident my entire life. My mom every single day told me I was beautiful every single day. I'm not joking. There was never a time when all my friends, their moms would say, you can't eat that because you have this weekend, or you have to wear this dress. And my mom never did that to me, not one single time. And she always told me how beautiful I was and how God used all the brown paint on my eyes and my hair and all these things. And so my mom has always breathed life into me, and that's one thing I hope to carry into my children as well.
Yeah. That reinforcement, especially at a young age, is super important. I feel like that shows the difference between people who are kind of self-confident and those who are lacking in it. Yeah. Because I was told my whole life, you're so smart, you can set your whatever you decide to do, you're going to be able to do it. Obviously, I was told I was pretty too, but like that was the big thing my dad made a big point to say, was you're very smart. You can do whatever. The world is open to you. And so I did kind of go into the world with this self-confidence that a lot of people, I found out later, they didn't have. Yeah. Because they weren't exposed to that. Yeah. And I don't think parents understand just how much. And I've tried. I'm not very good at the whole words of affirmation as a love language. I am very... That's like the last thing I think of, And so I have to force myself to even be like, oh, thanks for doing that. Or, hey, that looks really good. Or, be complimentary, because it's just not a natural thing that I do. Yeah. And as a parent with older kids now, it's like, oh, I could have done a better job there. They're not too messed up, but because that's what I grew up experiencing and had so much self-confidence because of that. So it sounds like you had a similar experience.
I did.
That's awesome.
That's
so your
great.
mom played a big role in your life in that way.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Good deal. Well, what do you like to do when you're not working? What's like a hobby or an interest that you have?
Not working. I can't even imagine.
She's a business owner. She doesn't do anything but work.
Those rare times when you're not actually working.
I love movies. I'm a huge movie buff.
Okay.
So I love going to the movies. I like the experience of going to the movies. So I preferred that over sitting at home watching Netflix. Yeah. Huge football family. My dad's a football coach. Has been my entire life. So we're really into football. And that's really it. Yeah. I work a whole lot, so. Yeah.
Watch a movie.
I do like to travel, but I can't right now.
That's like a luxury that most people don't realize when you run your own business. That's not really something you have a whole lot of free time to do. Watching movies. That used to be a thing I used to watch every movie that came out just about back in the day. And now I can't think of, obviously most of us haven't been to the theater in over a year.
Oh, wow.
So, I think the last movie I went to see was a children's cartoon for my daughter and her niece, and we were taking her out for her birthday. It was like the last event we did before this all took place. So, I used to enjoy that experience of going to the movies and all the things that come along with that. And now it fills me with anxiety a little bit. Yeah, so I'm not sure.
It'll get better as time goes on. Everybody's still a little in shock. I think our sort of societal psyche is a little bit like
bruised.
Right now still. So, do you have a certain team that you root for?
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys. Sadly.
Oh, no.
I know.
You're really a diehard fan, then.
I am.
Because
I am.
I gotta say, they've been sucking it up a little.
Oh,
bit.
I know.
And so to still be a fan and be that's my team, even though they're not doing so good and haven't been for like 20 years.
Yeah.
But
I am.
I still hang on to with the hope that one day. Yeah. One day. Mm-hmm. See, I grew up in the era where Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin were like the dream team. Yep. And won all the Super Bowls, Yeah. And so I look back at that time and go, that's when
the triplets.
Everybody has to have their heyday. We're Texans fans at my house, so we've been a little disappointed the last couple years too.
Yeah, that one too.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay, movie buff. Real quick before we move on, what's your favorite movie?
Oh, it's so hard for me. When I tell you I'm a movie buff. Oh gosh. Okay. All right, we're gonna try and do this. Still Magnolias. Remember the Titans.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh gosh, I don't know who I can give 3 to. Top third spot.
She had no problem with the first two, though. Boom, boom.
Well, I am a huge movie buff, so if I say one, then later on I'll be like, oh, I should have said this.
Yeah. It's never the right answer.
I have to break it down into genres.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, okay, favorite movie. Well, in this category.
Let's go with Pretty Woman.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with Pretty Woman.
Julia Roberts just all the way.
Oh, I love Julia Roberts.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah, she is. Pretty Woman is one of my favorites.
Steel Magnolias would be on my list as well.
Oh, so. I can quote the entire movie.
Same, girl. We should have a podcast where we just do that. No, I'm kidding. Nobody would listen to that. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, on that note, I'm going to turn it over to Kristin. She's going to ask the rapid fire questions today.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Just real quick, off the top of your head.
Okay.
What'd you have for breakfast?
Breakfast taco.
Okay. How do you take your coffee?
Oh, with a lot of cream and a lot of sugar.
You like a little coffee with your
yes.
With your cream and sugar? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Current favorite song?
Ooh.
We say current favorite because I know it changes day to day.
Yeah. Honestly, anything by Luke Combs.
Okay.
Right.
I'm not familiar with him. Is he?
He's a country singer.
Oh, okay.
Country pop.
Yeah.
I love him.
I don't
I'm
listen
obsessed.
to country very much, so Luke, but I'll have to look him up. Are you currently watching some sort of like TV show or series or anything?
I'm not really into TV shows. I do watch The Voice and like American Idol, but that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you sing?
No.
That was great.
Yeah. Favorite book?
I don't read.
Oh, well.
I'm in a book club, but I don't read.
Well, nobody ever joins a book club for the books. It's for the wine and the companionship. Yeah.
That's okay. We did favorite movies.
That's all right. Yeah. You're a movie buff. Favorite flavor. Blah, 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 blah. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Strawberry.
That's my husband's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Yes. Yes. Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Okay. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
All right. I'm with you there. Zodiac sign?
Virgo.
Okay. Spring, summer, fall, or winter?
Fall. 100%.
Yeah. I'm fall in the mountains. Yes. Let's go. Introvert or extrovert?
Kind of both.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty outgoing, but I love my alone time, and I love people not bothering me.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta turn that phone off and
yes.
Go take a bath. Just be.
Yes.
Favorite color?
Red.
Fiery. Latina coming out.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we got to get some new questions because we've already answered this, but we want to know your opinion.
Okay.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
It's disgusting. It doesn't matter.
I agree.
I love that answer. That's great. Favorite social media platform?
It's TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. It's done a lot for you.
It has.
Yeah.
It has.
That's awesome. I got to get on there.
Yeah.
I
like it for the fun
times.
videos that like there's a wide variety of type of things you can watch on there.
Yes.
But I love the animal ones, obviously.
Yeah.
Where the cats and the dogs or just random animals of any kind. Or the people who get on and list facts about animals or the true crime facts. Or,
I love the true crime ones.
All the crazy.
We are going to have to do that episode.
It'll be a
nothing
bonus.
to do with business, but just about every guest we have on, we end up talking about true crime.
Some true crime.
in some form or fashion. And like we're just gonna have to have an episode dedicated to why is true crime so fascinating.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's gonna have to happen. Okay, so we want to talk about your business now.
Okay.
I got a little bit. Got to know you a little bit. Now we want to talk about Moree To Love.
Okay.
You started this business during the pandemic.
I did.
Yeah.
So you're the first person we've had on that's actually done that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, and I very specifically thought, you know what? That would be a great conversation to have. How does one start a business in the middle of this global upheaval and economic crisis in a way?
Right.
Because a lot of people have lost their jobs or like had to take pay cuts or, all the things. So kind of walk us through what that was like for you to take that leap of faith during such an uncertain time.
So I moved home from Dallas and I got a job here working for a bank. And I started that in January. In June, I lost my job. And so I was like, I'd already been researching how to start my boutique. I was going to do it on the side. And honestly, I really feel like me losing my job was God saying, like, this is what you're supposed to be doing and stop playing around, do it. And so I lost my job and I kind of had to jump in. And so 2 weeks after I lost my job, I launched. And so I spent 2 weeks just like going hard, researching, YouTubing. You can find any and everything you need on YouTube.
YouTube is the best resource.
Oh my gosh. And so
YouTube education, right?
Yes. Right.
And then I ordered inventory and I just started and I had no idea what I was doing.
Did you turn to anybody for advice? Did you reach out to any of the other small boutiques in town, or did you really just kind of power through on your own and figure it out?
I had one girl from Dallas. I modeled for her whenever she first launched, like 3 years ago.
Okay.
But I had done a lot of research before I reached out to her because I didn't want to just be like, tell me how to do this. Right. I wanted to be like, okay, this is what I've found. Can you tell me if this is working for you, or do you suggest something else? And she's phenomenal. Her name is Demetria. She has shop 1222. Check her out. She's amazing.
Awesome.
And she really gave me all the advice that she could, and she was so good with me, and she helped me a lot. And then Mom was with me. She helped me. She still helps me even now. She helps me run the shop. And so that's how it happened.
Good deal. When you start a business or running a business, it's not always the easiest thing. There's a lot of challenges, a lot of roadblocks, a lot of obstacles that pop up. What are some things that you've had to kind of hurdle over and kind of get past that, have been a challenge, but have also just enriched your business as a result?
I would say the first hardest thing for me was figuring out my name. That was so hard.
Okay, yeah.
I could not for the life of me. I was like, I wanted it to be so good, because you want it to be like this aha moment.
Yeah.
And it was not for me. And so when I apparently my dad had suggested this name, which I don't remember him saying this, but he suggested Moree To Love, and I was like, that's so dumb, Dad. And then I was at lunch with my girlfriends, and my girlfriend Nellie was like, how about Moree To Love? Because it's like a play on words. I was like, that's brilliant. And Dad was like, are you kidding me? So that one was really hard. But then also just realizing that I kind of blew up on TikTok within my first 3 weeks of launching.
That's wonderful.
Which was great.
Yeah.
But then I didn't know how to train my brain that selling out in one day is not the norm. And after I got more inventory and I didn't sell out, I was like, what's wrong? Like I'm doing something wrong. And so that was hard. I'm so grateful for it. Don't get me wrong. But it was
navigating those real highs and real lows.
Yeah. So that was, but it also taught me a lot because I had to grow really fast, I feel like, in my business. And so that was really helpful.
So when it comes to running a business like yours and you're having stock, how do you, because you just saw, that issue 3 weeks in, you sold out of things. And then afterwards, not so much. How do you find that balance? Is it just trends over a period of time where you go, okay, this I know to order this much and this in this size, and so on and so forth, or is there a formula?
Is there a formula? Or is there a guessing game? How does this work?
Honestly, sometimes it's a little bit of both. Sometimes you just don't know. Some things I will pick out and I'm like, I know these are going to sell so well, and they do. And I will sell out and I'll have to reorder 4 or 5 times. And then other things, I'm like, these are going to be so good. And then they flop, So it's just one of those things.
Different tastes.
Yeah.
It's one of those, fashion is an art form. And in any art form, it's subjective.
Yeah.
So something that you love, somebody else is liable to be like, ew.
Do you, as a boutique owner, do you tend to find yourself ordering things in colors that you like?
I do. That's why my mom's here, because my wardrobe will be all red and all black.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, but people like pink and yellow and green. I'm like, do they though?
That was a constructive criticism I had for an acquaintance. She had a boutique here in town, and it seemed like everything was earth tones. And I am not an earth tone.
Yeah, me either.
And I can't really wear those colors. I don't look that good.
As you both sit here wearing earth tones.
This dress, this dress was supposed to be more like a plum color according to the picture.
Well, it's beautiful.
And it's a rust color, which, is not my favorite color, but I was like, it's a cute style, so I'm going to keep it. Anyway, I was always like, sweetheart, I need jewel tones.
Yes.
Purples, blues, hot pinks, emerald greens. And she was like, I know, I just gravitate towards these colors.
I know.
So I wondered if that was a thing that everybody has an issue with when you own a boutique. Because I probably would. I wear mostly blue.
Yeah. So really,
everything would be blue.
Yeah, she wears a lot of blue.
It wouldn't look like it today, but I
wear a lot of purple. Yeah, purple and black. Those are my colors.
Yes.
Yeah, we all have signature colors. Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
I wonder if we polled 100 women if they would all say, "Yep, this is my signature color."
I bet they would.
Because literally everyone in my life is like, they don't even have to. They hardly have to know me at all, and they're like, "Yeah, she wears a lot of blue."
Wow.
Because I usually that's all I wear.
Like a teal turquoise type of
there's a range.
You got like blue greens and like there's
but the easy answer is blue. So anyway, I was just curious because I know if I ran a clothing store that it would mostly be blue.
Yeah. So it's your mom that helps you out with that. Do you have any other employees that are involved in like the selection process or any of that kind of thing?
Nope. It's mainly just me and my mom. My goal, I want to be able to hire a team of women who are my heart is in single mothers and single women who are struggling. I want to be able to provide something for them. I'm nowhere near that yet, but that's my goal.
I mean,
that's
you've
my
only
dream.
been open just shy of a year, so
that's
baby
true.
steps.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Well, and you said you just opened your brick and mortar store. I'm sorry,
in January.
Me. Yeah, just a few months ago.
Yeah.
So
And you were just recently at a market where you purchased.
Correct, I was.
So kind of tell us a little bit about that because I'm always curious about those behind the scenes type things.
I know. Yes. I want to go to one of those one. I don't have anything to. I just want to see.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy anything.
Cool.
I just want to see how.
Is it
look
the
at all
new
the trends.
spring lines or accessories and things like that?
It's so cool. Yeah. So it's in Dallas. They have them all over. I want to go to the LA one eventually one day. But it's in Dallas that we go to, and it's like 15 stories, and it's just, hundreds of thousands of vendors, and you get to, I love going because I like to touch it and feel it and see, you can try things on.
Is it rough? Is it scratchy? Is it smooth?
Yeah. And so things are just so much different online versus touching it. And sometimes, yes, sometimes they come in running small or large. And if I'm there and I can try it on and I'm like, okay, I know this fits true to size or whatever. And so I get to see, this one was for the spring and the summer lines.
Okay.
So mainly the summer, because spring is already here. But you get first dibs at them. And so versus ordering online when you get the last dibs of it. So it's really cool. Yeah.
And you buy these things at wholesale prices, obviously, through these vendors and, create relationships with different people and different brands or what have you.
Yes.
Very cool.
Let me ask this and only answer what you feel comfortable saying. But when it comes to something like this where you have to buy or place, pre-orders for a lot of stock, how does one finance something like that? Do you have like a small business loan? Do you use credit cards?
Let me tell you, I think a lot of people do. God has been so good to me, and I have not had to do any of that.
Amazing.
I have solely been funding my business by myself.
Okay.
I'm not paying myself yet either. So, but I know that that's okay because I'm not that much farther behind because I do have a big loan. And so my business has just been doing really well, and so I'm just funding it by myself with the business money.
I mean, I feel like if anybody can do that, that's really the way to go.
Yes.
But obviously that's not always feasible. So I was just curious because I know how much money is involved.
No, absolutely.
In
I know a lot of people who have to. I am all about being debt free if I can be. So
absolutely, yes.
Yeah, it makes the stress of running a business a little less if you don't have that burden on your shoulders.
Yeah.
You've only been in business a little over a year or right about a year. Do you have a fun memory that you want to share that's like, this is why I do what I do, especially on those days where it's challenging and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that pops into your mind. Like, this is why I do this.
I actually have a lot, but there was one that happened yesterday too.
Oh, good.
So I had a girl who, she sent me a photo of herself in a dress, and she was really struggling with some self-confidence, and she just was like, I felt so confident yesterday. Thank you for all of your kind words, all of your videos. I'm very much about body positivity and just like speaking life into yourself and to your friends and who you hang out with and who you associate with, because you are who you hang out with at the end of the day. Yeah. And so yesterday she sent me this photo and she was smiling so big, and I follow her on social media and she's not always smiling. And so that was just really like, that's why I do what I do. Because I don't ever want any woman to feel like they're less than because of their size or their race or their background or anything like that.
That's great.
That's awesome. I think that's a big, I think, takeaway, especially with these younger, like the younger, younger millennials and Gen Z. That seems to be the thing. You're like, hey, accept yourself for who you are. I know it's hard, but like you're gonna be better off up here if you do.
I would have saved myself so much anxiety and depression and stress, and if I had gotten
and heartache,
taken the time to get to know myself, and figure out who I am, and like be like, okay, that's me. I'm cool with that. Yeah. And now that I am, I'm like, life is so much nicer.
Because society puts so much pressure on the physical, and in reality, that's like a fraction of who you are.
Tiny little piece of who you are.
Speaking of all of that, has this business, starting this and kind of switching careers and gears in your life, what has it taught you about yourself?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's why she's the host.
I'm reading up a piece of paper.
I think just that I am capable and I can do somebody like myself who's from a small town. I don't have a degree. That I can still make a difference in the world. And I think the world puts so much pressure on a degree too. And I think that's important. Don't get me wrong. I think college and schooling is important, but I think sometimes it's not for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
It just wasn't for me.
I think that's starting to shift as well.
It is.
We've had a lot of younger people in this chair, and they're like, oh, I didn't go to school, or they went to school part of the way, or it was like, it was just wasn't for me, and I did this instead. And I feel like we've got to start normalizing that college and the format that it currently is not for everybody. You should always I can't talk. You should always want to continue learning.
Right.
Yes.
But doesn't necessarily have to be in a classroom setting.
Right. That doesn't have to be at a university. It could be, you go to a trade school or cosmetology school.
Right.
Or, there are other things, or like we mentioned earlier, the University of YouTube.
Yep.
Yes.
No lie. I'm not even kidding. They should figure out a way to like promote that.
Yeah.
Because like seriously, I feel like I've just talked to so many people, and I went to college, but like, and I'm a couple of semesters away from completely finishing.
Oh yeah.
But so I don't think any of us here are college graduates. Yeah. And I feel like we're all very successful in what we do. So it's not necessarily the path for everybody. Now, if I go to the hospital and I have a surgeon who's going to operate on me, I kind of want them to have a degree.
Yes, I want him to have gone through.
Yeah. So that's not a career path that you can kind of just be like, I can wing it by watching YouTube videos. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I think it's great that a lot more people are becoming more comfortable realizing that a lot earlier on and not spending tons of time and money on something that is just not for them.
Yeah.
So... And I think just learning, one of the lessons I had to learn, this is why I asked this question, is that when I was a photographer, I was a professional photographer for like 15 years.
Wow.
And almost 20. And did mostly weddings there at the end for the last 8, I believe, of my career. And so it took me almost a decade into my career for me to call myself a professional. And then learning, if I have the confidence to say that, other people are going to call me that.
Yeah.
I have to say it about myself first.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious when people sit in that chair, like what one thing kind of did they have to teach themselves or learn or experience in order to go, if I don't say it, then they're not going to say it about me.
Yeah.
So, things like that, little, what advice would you give somebody who wants to start a business or a business similar to yours or not? I mean, you started right in the middle of a pandemic, so I feel like you got some pearls of wisdom thrown out there.
I would say do research for sure. Find out what you want your brand to represent. What do you want to convey to your clientele? Figure out who your clientele is going to be.
I like, sorry to interrupt.
No.
I like the way you said that, because we have so many people who like, they're trying to figure out how they're going to set themselves apart.
Yes.
Right? From everybody else. But what you just said is how you should really, we touched on this, I think, when we talked to Caroline Perry, but you're trying to figure out what clientele you're trying to market to.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be for everybody.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So instead of trying to like figure out what's going to set you apart, you're trying to figure out who you're trying to attract.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good mindset to have. Sorry.
No, yeah.
Kudos.
Yeah. So yeah, do that. Figure out who you want your clientele to be. And then I think for me, one thing that has helped is coming up with a name, like making it relatable. So I have a mannequin in my boutique. Her name is Shay, and she is my clientele. So who is Shay? She is mainly probably a single mother. She doesn't have a whole bunch of extra money to spend. You know, figuring out those boundaries for what you want your business to set, because those will all play a factor in how successful you are.
Yeah.
If this is your clientele and your prices are way up here, it's not gonna fly.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's a big part of it.
Most of our business owners who have sat in this chair have created a business that they wanted when they were out in the market shopping for something.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I feel like you've probably done that, where you've created this boutique because it was something that was lacking that you felt that you didn't have out there. And so now you filled that gap.
Right.
What style of, before we completely, you know, just skip over this particular issue, what style of clothes? Like, what would you label like the, I'm obviously not into fashion, clearly, because I cannot get the words out. But what the aesthetic? That is the word I was looking for. Woo! It's Monday. What would you describe it as?
So, as a curvy woman, I mean, I'm sick and tired of all these flowers all over my shirts. And if I have to wear another flower, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Or they give me these big kimonos and that would hide my shape.
Oversized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my body may not be the shape as someone else, but it is still a shape. And I don't feel like it should have to be hidden just because of that. Yeah. And so I feel like whatever you are comfortable in, whatever you are confident in, that's what you need to wear. And that's what I preach. And I have so many women that come to me and they're like, all I wear is big t-shirts to cover up. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to work, because you're going to continue to feel frumpy. Yeah. And if you don't feel good in what you're wearing, you're going to portray that everywhere that you go.
Yeah.
So
that, I think that's true.
Very true. Yeah.
You get it.
It's one of those, it's a, you know, fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even if you feel, you know, if you're feeling really down and blah.
Yes.
And I know there was a lot of people that did this during the pandemic when we were like, you know, like locked, like everything was shut down and we were locked up in our houses. And it was like, get up, take a shower, put on some makeup, get dressed up. You're not going anywhere.
But you have to for a mental.
Yeah, but
mental
you're
health.
just going to feel that much better, you know, because you took that. It's a self-care kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
You took that time for yourself and you did that, you know, so yeah.
What are your favorite pieces? Are you more of I dress in classical, like colors and lines and shapes, or are you more bold and, you know, sequins and the more attention getting, the better?
Honestly,
what's your
I'm
personal style?
I'm a mix. Yesterday, I was in a big old sweatshirt and sweats and sneaks. But then today I woke up and I was like, I don't want to do that. And then if I go out to dinner somewhere nice, I'll probably be in like a cute little romper and some pumps. So I am literally all over the place. I do love a good hoodie and sneaks. That's probably like one of my favorites.
Yoga pants, oversized hoodie, and tennis shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of all over the place, honestly.
Yeah. Same. I don't really. I mean, yes and no. I guess you'd have to people around me.
You don't do a lot of like real flashy stuff.
No, I'm definitely more of a Audrey Hepburn.
They like
modern times.
Classic lines, and you know.
I love that. It's not flattering on me, but I love it.
And I'm sure my style isn't for everybody, but I'm more of a. If it's comfortable, that's the number one priority.
Yes.
And then it has to, like, the looking good comes next.
Right. Me too.
Because I have some ugly things in my collection of things that I wear that don't look that cute, but they're super comfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, fashion be damned. I want to be comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when, we were during that ice storm and the week leading up to and afterwards, I had on these ugly Ugg boots. I think they're the ugliest things ever, but I got them on super duper sale.
Hey.
And I was like, those will come in handy when it's like really, really cold.
Keep you warm.
Aesthetically, I think they're ugly.
Yeah.
Can be. But like during that storm, that along with, these flannel leggings and pants and fleece line things,
I busted out all my fleece line tights and was layering those things.
Yeah, it wasn't super cute, but I was comfortable and I was warm. So that's my priority is comfort more than anything. I wouldn't make it on Sex and the City.
No.
No.
Now my friends will tell you that's how I show up to events, but it's not true.
Right? No, I'm like you. Yesterday was all about comfort. So yeah that's great. Well, what does the future of the business hold for you? Like you've got an online store and you got a brick and mortar. Now what?
Yeah, my goal is to expand.
Okay.
I have a couple of girlfriends in Dallas, and so my goal is to expand. So we'll see.
And you were talking about earlier involving single mothers and what have you. So all of that encompassing in that one.
That's my goal.
That's
multiple locations? Maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope to be a chain one day. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
All right.
We'll be looking forward to that.
We can say we knew you win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on social media? We've been talking about TikTok, so tell everybody your username on TikTok and any other platforms.
Your website and all that. Yeah. All that good stuff.
Yeah. So my website is Moree To Love, spelled just like my last name, Moree to Love, and then so is my Instagram, Moree To Love. My TikTok is just like my personal Instagram because that's how I started it, and I kind of wanted it to stay personal. I wanted somebody to see the person behind the brand and not necessarily just the brand every time.
Yeah.
And so my TikTok is Chelsi, CHELSII_lately with 2 Y's. And that's how I am on my personal Instagram too.
Chelsea, I love it. You haven't gotten like an actual message from Chelsea Handler.
Man, I would die if I did. I would die.
Didn't she have like a TV show?
Yeah, yes. Chelsea lately.
Yeah, okay, because I was like, that sounds
awesome.
familiar.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So they can find you on TikTok, Instagram, and your website. Do you have a Facebook group?
I do have a Facebook. It's Moree To Love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, are you running any specials right now or anything anybody needs to know about if they log on and
anything
do some
coming up? Maybe?
Maybe later on this week. I will be doing. I have a giveaway that'll be done today. Well, it's finished yesterday, so I'll be announcing that today.
Okay.
But I do giveaways all the time. I do sales all the time. So definitely follow me. I do Facebook Lives all the time. We do lots of giveaways on there too. So
cool.
Very neat. All right. Well, Chelsea, thanks so much for coming on and talking to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to meet you.
I've loved your energy. It's been a while since we've had an in-person guest, so it's nice to get that vibing going on with another person. So yeah. Well, we hope everybody enjoyed, and if you want to log on, if you're not local and you can't jump into the shop, you should go to the website and purchase some cute clothes.
Yeah.
And we wish you well. We hope everybody has a great week, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Do you have a story to tell? We want to hear it. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast and share your story, contact us on our website at PaynePoints.com or any of the social media linked on our website. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. We'd appreciate a review, a like, or a comment to let us know what you think. You can find all of our podcasts linked on our website under the podcast tab. Once again, thanks for joining us, and we want to wish everybody a wonderful day.